It's official. Beginning on November 10th, Amtrak will start running its through train from Chicago all the way to Miami. This means that on November 9th, we will see the final departures of both the Silver Star and Amtrak's Capital Limited. The new train, which will travel the full 2,060-mile route between Miami and Chicago, will be using single-level Amfleet and Viewliner equipment. The train will run as number 40 when heading to Chicago and number 41 Miami bound. And for the service, Amtrak will be reviving a name from one of its former trains which was discontinued in 1979, the Floridian. Although the Floridian was a Chicago to Florida train, the route has very few similarities to the train of the past. While as of today, Amtrak has not yet created a page dedicated to the new train on their website. But here is what we have been able to glean thus far. Train 41 will depart Chicago at 6:40 p.m., the same time as the current Capital Limited. It is also scheduled to arrive in Washington, D.C. around the same time. So service on this part of the route seems to be more or less unchanged. After an approximately 40-minute scheduled dwell time in D.C., the Floridian will depart Washington at 1:43, about an hour and 15 minutes earlier than today's southbound Silver Star. However, the arrival time in Miami is only about 20 minutes earlier. So the Washington to Miami running time has been lengthened by about an hour. In the opposite direction, the Floridian will depart Miami as train 40 at 11:05 a.m. This is the same time as the Silver Star now. It will arrive into DC at 3:06, and the Floridian will depart an hour later and arrive into Chicago the next day at 8:45 a.m. This is about the same as the current Capital Limited and Silver Star schedules. So unless you plan to travel through Washington, D.C., Silver Star passengers traveling to the south and Capital Limited passengers will see little to no changes. The train will operate with single-level Viewliner and Amfleet equipment and will have full dining car service. This represents no changes on the route of the Star, but it will be an equipment change from the Superliners for Capital passengers, and it will also mean the return of full traditional dining for those on the Capital route. The Floridian will continue to serve Tampa, Florida, but a quick search of the Amtrak site reveals that the New York to Miami Silver Meteor will not be adding Tampa as a stop as some had hoped. So passengers traveling from the Northeast to Tampa will now need to transfer to the Floridian in Washington, D.C., instead of being able to enjoy the one-seat ride they have on today's Silver Star. All in all, this is an exciting change for the national network and improves convenience and connectivity. This hopefully also means that more Superliners formerly used on the Capital Limited will now be available for consists and Western routes. Next, watch this video about an Amtrak route that is sadly now only weeks away from rolling its last miles, the Capital Limited. Thank you for watching Rail Weekly.